The VP's okay with
The CLO is not like, to him, it's not, I guess it's not a concern. Like, it's not something he's imposing on the CPO. We think it's retarded, so we've brought it up to the CPO, we brought it up to the CLO, and they're both telling us it's all good. And the CPO is especially telling us, like, fuck off, it's all good. Like, stop.
So they know the
like,
risk.
shut up, you know?
So let me give you the snapshot here, and then we'll present to you the exhibit so you understand that it is irrefutable, and we make those available at loudwithcrowder.com. Click the link in the description. So some undercover journalists, okay, with an organization, Sound Investigations, they've blown the whistle, exposed how PornHub exploits legal loopholes that basically allow rapists and traffickers to upload illegal content. All right. Now, to be clear, there are more slaves ever right now on Earth. There are more slaves than ever, sorry, I should say. I get pissed off, and so I speak. It's like my mouth starts speaking more quickly than my brain can think.
Translator.
Everyone.
There are more slaves on Earth right now than in recorded history. So you can bitch about white privilege and you can bitch about George Washington only freeing his slaves on his death all you want. What are you doing now? There's 42 million slaves now. We soften it with sex. Why do we not talk about it? Is it because one of the biggest contributors to trafficking would be, I don't know, open borders, right? Sex trafficking. It's not just the drug cartel. The fentanyl doesn't piss me off nearly as much as child rape. Is it because maybe you're trying to hypersexualize children at a very young age and you don't want people blowing the whistle on that? How do you condemn the biggest number, the single largest number of slaves on Earth right now, and maintain your position that sexualizes children? It's a little bit too close to home. So these people there at Sound Investigations, they've now blown the whistle. PornHub, loopholes allowing rapists, traffickers to upload illegal content. Okay. It also, by the way, highlights how the top brass at these companies, specifically PornHub, I should say, fully aware of the problem. Because you may say, ignorance, not a defense of the law. Ignorance is not a defense of the law. Let's be very clear of that. But they are aware. They're not ignorant. We have the clips. We have the receipts. But they continue to proactively turn a blind eye simply for the sake of profits. And, more importantly, they're also behind, by the way, legislation to collect your IDs. And I understand pornography shouldn't be available to children who are 12, who are 14. Now they can go to their public library. But they're obviously not collecting your IDs, your data, to try and protect children because they're deliberately skirting that. So if you're not familiar with PornHub, pretty self-explanatory. It's in the name. It's the world's most, trafficked porn site, 10th most trafficked site, I believe, in the world total. I think number one is WorldStar. Very, very, very big in Ghana. 2020, the New York Times ran this piece detailing how PornHub hosted content like trafficking, rape, child porn, revenge porn. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but I saw that at my public library. I get it. But they're really, really bad about it at PornHub. So some examples, if you search girls under 18, 14-year-olds, it would yield more than 100,000 results.
Just pause there.
Jeez.
Pause there. Girls 14 years old, under 100,000 results.
100,000 results.
For everybody who saw the Sound of Freedom stuff, we talked about this.
Yeah.
This is that stuff. So when we talk about illegal content, it's not like, oh, Jamie just didn't want her sex tape out. That's bad enough, right? That is absolutely bad enough.
Right.
But it's worse than that.
Yes.
It's child pornography. It's human trafficking videos. It's anything that people want to post because, hey, we did what we were supposed to do. We got your ID.
Yeah. And by the way, just so you know, I know what the left will say. They'll say, oh, yeah, so you've never looked at porn? Guilty. Every single man. Of course, you can still be. You can be against pornography, and you certainly can be against child sex trafficking, and still feel tempted to look at naked ladies. So don't be afraid. This is the reason that a lot of the sex stuff gets out, and conservatives are afraid to share it because they're afraid of being judged for something that everyone, by the way, has a struggle with. If you're specifically a man, just to be clear, these are not the same things. It's okay. How often do you hear at church, right? You'll hear someone go, I was addicted to crack and the Lord saved me. And you're just sitting there like, oh, to be addicted to crack. Right? Because you're a teenage boy servicing yourself in the dark, and that's more shameful. And you don't get up there on the altar with a redemption story, but it's something that everyone struggles with. You don't have to go to a dark alleyway to find yourself attracted to naked ladies. So don't allow yourself to be painted as a hypocrite, therefore you're not qualified to discuss this story. All right? That's what they're going to try and do. So after this report, PornHub announced that it had removed all of its unverified content.
Such a lie. I mean, basically, it's just content not uploaded by a verified user. All you have to do to be a verified user is to upload your ID. You'll hear it in this piece. Like,
yes.
They actively are like, all right, well, we're taking steps to take care of this. And everybody's like, oh, okay, that's fine. Fantastic. You did your job. You didn't do anything. And you know it.
They know that. So they
absolutely know it.
So this is the video obtained by journalists at Sound Investigations, shared exclusively with Mug Club Undercover. It makes it very, very clear that PornHub never solved this problem. and that they knew they weren't solving it, and they never intended to. Mike Farley, in this video, he's the technical product manager at MindGeek, which is the parent company of Pornhub, kind of like Alphabet is with YouTube, only with sex slaves. And they detail a loophole, right, that users, meaning rapists and traffickers, can exploit to upload illegal content. So let me tell you what this loophole is. Users verify themselves by uploading government IDs. Okay. Then they upload porn that doesn't show the face of some of the subjects. And then the uploaders can just claim that they are those people because the faces are blurred and the content is permitted. The content is acceptable. So Sound Investigations actually reached out to Mug Club Undercover. They provided us with exclusive footage. Here's the first clip where you will see Mr. Farley and one of the first, 7 employees at MindGeek explaining how this works in their own words.
Let's stick around because when we first made the site, there was when I got hired there was 6 people. And now we're 300.
Do you think anything slips through the cracks?
Of course. 100%.
How?
I don't know, because it's stupid. Because at the end of the day, it's how are you gonna tell me who's in that video of the girl's not showing her face? You're trying to match boobs and birthmarks on their butts and stuff. That would be the loophole that I always I look at that and I'm like, that's stupid, but everybody is just kind of rolling with it.
Why do they just roll with it? Why don't they say something?
It costs money.
Just rolling with it. Like a child sex trafficking Fred Durst.
Oh, God. I don't understand. They're just rolling with it because of money, right? Yeah. I get it. I do understand. I understand exactly how evil these people are. And by the way, I want to just highlight again, we said it, he said it in the video. This guy's not some random person off the street saying, hey, Pornhub's bad, I'm an intern. He said, I was there when I think there were 6 employees. Yeah, from the very beginning of this. So he knows this has been going on for a very, very long time. He knows that they got heat from an article. He knows that they put a policy in place that has no effect whatsoever, and everybody rubber stamped it. Yeah. Not just Pornhub. We'll get to the government part of it.
Yeah. And here he is. This is another clip where that same man, Mr. Farley, who, by the way, sounds Canadian, but I don't know. I don't want to indict him for something he didn't do. He is?
Yeah.
Okay, double whammy. So, if you don't get an mRNA vaccine, you're not allowed into the country. You have to quarantine yourself, self-paid, demanded by government as you. But, hey, you know what? These people have no problem with age of consent laws being as low as 14, depending on the province, or 12, or I'm sure somewhere 9. So don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. So this person, Mr. Farley, also was very happy to disclose to this journalist, Arden Young, who's going to be on later, an interview, exclusive, exactly who exploits the loophole. Again, ignorance is not a defense, but we're not dealing with ignorance.
Who exploits the loophole?
Everybody. Everyone. So you make a lot of money. So for example, I could sign up tomorrow, I submit my ID, I'm putting all my real identification, my bank account and everything, and I just rip content from other people where it's this guy's body and his look like it could be mine based on my face. I don't know, some like that, right? Okay, I'm tall, I'm slim, okay, this guy, okay, whatever, he looks kind of similar. I could just rip those videos, upload them as my own, and the people who review my video would probably be like, this is him in the video. Be like, it's close enough. And I'm going to make thousands of dollars. I didn't do shit. It's just an easy way to make money.
What's the worst that could happen with a loophole like that?
Including for who?
I mean,
us?
do do rapists use it, or?
Of course.
What about human traffickers or something? Could they use that loophole?
To do what? To make money? Of course.
Hey, hit the like button if you'd like to see some of these people behind bars.
Unbelievable.
You can also be pro-porn, by the way. You can also be someone who's all about women's sexual liberation. You like looking at naked ladies, or you completely separate from, of course it could be used by rapists. Or it's just an easy way to make money, even if it's not mine. Where are the activists?
Yeah.
I know the Me Too was often used for people who had bad dates and consensual sexual relationships. What about this? Oh, wait, again, that's tough, right? Because this ties into the sexual liberation movement where porn was good and now maybe not so much.
Right. And a lot of people think of human trafficking and they think, oh, well, you're selling a kid to somebody, and that's, again, that's bad enough. That is horrifyingly bad. By Pornhub allowing this, they're actually creating a market for them to go, hey, we're going to take these kids and we're going to record them having sex. And I'm going to set up all the accounts that I can to make money. Thousands of dollars, he said. Pornhub is creating an expanded market, not just selling individuals to people like on Epstein Island or something like that, actually creating a worldwide marketplace for people to go and watch these kinds of videos, and they know that they're doing it and they don't care.
I want to be very, very clear here. My stance is if adults want to watch pornography, of course they have the right to watch any pornography that they want between consenting adults or professional. Whether you think it's good or not, right? There's a lot of science, and I'm not talking from a secular perspective. We know what it does to the brain now when you're talking about a tab and a tab and a tab. If you're an adult and you want to watch pornography where people are not being exploited or sex trafficked, that is your right. That is your prerogative. What we are saying is, first off, can't involve underage people, can't be used and exploited by rapists or sex traffickers, and it just shouldn't be accessible to young children. That's the stance. Comment if you think that's a pretty reasonable stance. And by the way, I'm also apprehensive about having to upload government IDs because it's very clear they're not looking out for you. No. So why the government IDs? Next clip, this is a third clip. Mr. Farley tells this Sound Investigations journalist exactly how the leadership at MindGeek, parent company of Pornhub, how they feel about it.
You said there is a
lot more where that came from.
A loophole where it's obvious that faces on IDs, you can't match the body.
But that's not that to us is more like that's a business decision at the VP level.
The VP.
Like the CPO knows, and as long as like we made a meeting where we're like, yo, like like kind of sketch, man, and he's just like, yeah, well, like that's what we're saying, like it's okay.
The VP's okay with
the CLO is not like to him. It's not. I guess it's not a concern. Like it's not something he's imposing on the CPO. We think it's retarded, so we've brought it up to the CPO. We brought it up to the CLO, and they're both telling us it's all good. And the CPO is especially telling us like, fuck off, it's all good. Like stop.
So they know the
like,
risk.
Like shut up, you know.
Yeah.
How many times has Donald Trump been indicted, just to be clear?
Yeah.
How many investigations? Can we
4 indictments right now?
Like one? One investigation?
Maybe one investigation.
Maybe one investigation.
So CLO, Chief Legal Officer, CPO, Chief Product Officer, I believe. So the person in charge of making sure that website runs and makes money versus the guy who makes sure they comply with all the rules. And he's saying the Chief Legal Officer is like, yeah, whatever, I'm not really pushing on this. And certainly the guy responsible for us making money is saying, shut up about this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Go away.
By the way, he's talking about, finding a body double for him. It's Rachel Maddow. Here's our final clip. Mr. Farley explains exactly why no one at MindGeek, Pornhub, is concerned. This is the important part, right? This is where we talk about when people say, oh, it's a private business. Well, no. It's the same thing with Facebook, with YouTube, right? They benefit from the government, either direct subsidies or tax breaks because they're considered a public platform. Just like a utility, just like a phone service, Verizon. In Canada, it would be Bell. I'm using that reference because of this douchebag here who happens to be from the north. This is where they explain to you that MindGeek, because of, hint, public servants, are not concerned about the ramifications and legal consequences.
If the government was to find out about this loophole, what would they do?
I'd say fire.
I don't know. They're not going to do shit. They'll do nothing. They're dumb. They don't know. They're not qualified to identify the loophole. They already did their investigation. They were satisfied. They technically checked and said that it's all good. So they can't really go back on that. We didn't change it.
So if they knew what you knew now, would they be satisfied?
Yeah. I don't know. Allegedly. I don't know. Why? You work for the government or something?
Check.
Oh, all of a sudden, the couple of strawberry daiquiris kicking in, maybe I shouldn't be talking this much.
What does she look like, by the way?
Yeah, I'm
serious. I always wonder.
We have her on later.
We'll have her on later, so you'll be able to find out.
I need her height and weight.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
We need to find the body double. Hey, I wonder if it's because a lot of the people in government are the same people from the previous story who want your children to read about lubricated anal sex at 4 years old. I wonder if that's why they might not be so adamant about investigating sex trafficking.
How much of the open borders affecting this? Only
Oh,
Any?
massively.
Massively.
Right?
It's hard to put a number on it because, it's illegal and our government doesn't want to research. But tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people trafficked over that border every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't stress this enough. Like, we've made this point. Like, we disagree with pornography. We actually had a video that you did. I can't remember the
Your
guy's
Brain
name,
on Porn with
Your Brain on Porn. Yeah.
Gary, was it Gary Wilson? This was like back in 2015, 2016.
We've actually reposted that for people to go watch. So you can see what we think about pornography just from purely a medical, I guess.
Yeah, he's not. No,
he's not talking
he was
about
actually
a Christian perspective.
back then. He was an atheist Democrat. Yeah.
So what we're talking about right now is exploitation, the likes of which, again, I'll share a personal story. When The Sound of Freedom came out, different movie.
I was going to make that joke earlier.
I didn't see it.
I held on to it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you
you
very
did
much.
it. So,
Chokers
I
and
love it.
dildos and double and sex
Yes,
rings.
it's
These
terrible.
are a few of my favorite.
That's terrible, right? So when that movie came out, like I was familiar with the sex trafficking issues because I did some work in Cambodia specifically focused on that. I've been to these places in Sihanoukville along the coast there where they have all of these places set up for kids. And we actively worked to make sure that once kids got pulled out of sex trafficking, they were able to kind of get retrained and get healed emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and move on. Like that, for most people, though, was a wake-up call. Like, you didn't know. Like, this is not just about somebody having sex with somebody else. Again, that is bad enough. That is wrong. That is way, way, way horrible.
Wait.
This is about people.
Wait, what are you talking about?
On video, I mean. Like, this isn't just about sex. So don't think like, oh, it's two people having sex. It's people's bodies being broken.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's kids being kidnapped.
Yes.
Taken and put in a very dark, dangerous place where they're in a room and somebody comes in and physically breaks them on camera for money. That's what these guys are supporting by allowing this to happen. That is what's going on here.
Yeah.
This isn't just you don't like porn, I like porn, whatever. That's not this. This is some of the most vile stuff on the planet that people will pay to watch.
Yeah.
That
and by the way,
change you.
Everyone likes porn on a purely physical level. Every man likes looking at naked ladies. They're going to try and scare you off from covering this story,
right?
Because they want you to not have to. Oh yeah, do you want to field the questions? Have you ever been to PornHub? That's what they're going to do. It is completely unrelated to the serious crimes against humanity. And I don't use that term lightly. What's a bigger crime against humanity than the rape of a child and selling it for profit?
Yeah.
I mean, Lex Luthor, they wouldn't have done that. It'd be too on the nose. It's just, it's as bad as it gets. And they're not concerned. The people who you are supposed to elect to represent you apparently don't care.
Yeah. And a giant spotlight needs to be shined on this because they're hiding in the shadows right now. They're coming out. It's crazy. They're trying to normalize it. We never thought anything like this would even possibly close to happening. I don't think there's no way in my mind you can justify child porn. So I'm like, there's no way they can do this.
Oh, yes,
they're
they can.
doing it right in front of us right now.
Yeah. That's
every minute of the day. We need Liam Neeson to have a special set of skills and go in some places for us. This stuff that's the kind of stuff that we need.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the only way that you end this crap because governments aren't doing anything, and that's Canada. I almost said Canada.
I
always
do
do
special
Canada.
set of skills.
You do?
Entering my government ID is not chief amongst them.
Can't create an account then. I guess we're all safe.
Liam Neeson. Anyway, all right.
It's good.
So it was all right. And we have Arden Young on later, so your question will be answered there, Nick. Again, $10 off this week. Mug Club. None of this happens without you. If you think every now and then we have to be able to take a flyer. Hey, guess what? People don't want to do this because the algorithm, the clickbait out there on Instagram. This isn't something that's a 15-second click. But we got 42 million slaves on Earth right now, and a lot of them are sex slaves. And one of the biggest corporations that exists is exploiting children abroad and here. All right.
I was asking about the person's looks because guys spill it so easy.
Yeah.
Right.
I know it's not like Rosie O'Donnell.
No.
Or one of the women from The View. You know what I mean? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
They seem to sing.
He wouldn't sing to Joy Behar.
Exactly.
He would just
Whoopee.
clam up. Yeah, exactly. Tell me, how much pornography? Hey, how would I look? How would I look in like a velour teddy? Maybe a mesh bodysuit. Stop throwing up, child.
Really bad. Stop throwing up, Ted.
Just be a GoPro with a windshield wiper.
By the way, I think the guy in this video for the employee for Pornhub has actually deleted his LinkedIn.
Oh, they did.
I think they did.
The Canadian guy.
The Canadian.
No one would take this story seriously if it was French Canadian. Like, hey, look, I'm gonna tell you what they do. All right, they go, they get the sex slave. They feel shame, but not too much, you know.
They wouldn't.
12 to 13.
This is bad guy.
2-3 girl.
2-3 girl.
At the most, 5-6.
That's it.
We have 2 beer, get pregnant.
2 beer.
10 kid.
That's it. Sometime triplet. That's it. That's all.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.